Hey everybody, this is Zach from Board with Friends, and we are back with Chapter 4 of the Choose Your Own Adventure game, House of Danger, from Prospero Hall. We finished up Chapter 3, we rescued the Professor Marsden. He gave us some insight into there is some alien technology going on here, so I honestly don't know what this is going to end with. I'm kind of excited. There's so many twists and turns to this game, this story. But let's get right into it. We're going to start with Chapter 4, and we're going to find out more of what happens. Alright. Chapter 4, The Hideout. After encountering dangers outside of the house, facing multiple ghosts inside the house, discovering an underground laboratory, and stumbling upon angry chimpanzees, you're ready to get some answers about this place, and the nightmares that brought you here. The mysterious phone call I got this morning. You say, it was you, wasn't it?
Phone call? What phone call? Wait, it couldn't have found a way to access the phone line, could it?
Professor Marsden's eyes go wide. Then he sees the look on your face and shakes his head.
Well, that's not important right now, he says.
Something about his tone leads you to suspect it is important, but you don't push it.
If you've managed to get this far, you must be quite the aspiring detective.
And psychic investigator, you add. You go on to tell him about the recurring nightmares that drove you to delve into this whole bizarre mystery.
Nightmares? He asks. Fascinating. If your dreams mean what I think they do, then I'm glad you're here. I can explain more later, but right now, getting to the neuron inhibitor mainframe is the crucial thing. It's the only way to retake the lab from the dastardly former lab assistant, Carol.
He says the name in a hoarse whisper, as if speaking out loud could summon some ancient evil. Continue to story card 91. Oh, look at that, 91.
Together we discovered a source of technology far beyond anything this world has ever seen. But she betrayed me. She used our work to take control of the chimpanzees and start a counterfeiting ring with a local crime syndicate. We made scientific discoveries worthy of Einstein, of Galileo, and then she just uses it all to...
He trails off.
I'm sorry, I've been locked in here so long that I've forgotten my manners. Now that you've freed me, I can open a secret passage for you that will lead to the neuron inhibitor mainframe. It will take you through the area where our most experimental work was being conducted. Be careful. It can get dangerous in there.
It's just me who's going? You ask, with fear in your voice.
Yes, he says. I need to monitor your progress from the operations room, where I have access to the security system. Here, use this earpiece so we can communicate.
Draw clue 91 to discover your goal. 89, 90, 91. Alright, let's take a look. Chapter 4, Disable the Neuron Inhibitor Mainframe. Come on, pick up. There we go. The clear glass door leads to the temporal manipulation lab, the professor continues. The frosted glass door goes to the psychic development room. The professor takes off for the operations room as the secret passage opens from the empty jail cell next door. The two glass doors are now before you. Too bad the professor didn't explain which route was the best way to get to the neuron inhibitor room mainframe. Alright, so if we try the temporal manipulation lab, we go to 96, and if we try the psychic development room, we go to 115. See, now I'm torn. Love Doctor Who, I kind of like the idea of temporal manipulation, but I am a psychic investigator, and it might be interesting to develop that. So let's go to 115. We'll play to my character's strengths. Well, his alleged strengths. Alright, let's go here. The room features several rows of blue metal chairs. Dome-shaped helmets attached to odd-looking devices hang above the chairs. There's also a large glass tube big enough for you to step into, with a door on the side. A green button is accessible from inside the tube. You slowly realize you've seen these machines before, in photos in the reference book Ghosts and Ghouls, which you have in your bookshelf back home. The photos were in a chapter about how rogue parapsychologists were attempting to give ordinary people psychic abilities. If you remember correctly, the blue chairs are attached to machines intended to give the subject psychokinesis, the ability to start fires with mind control. The large glass tube is an energizing chamber that gives people telekinesis, the ability to move objects with one's mind. Both seem ready to go. A metal stairwell on the far side of the room leads to some sort of observation booth, which overlooks the room you're in and possibly others. If you sit in one of the pyrokinesis chairs, go to story card 117. If you enter the telekinesis energizing chamber, go to 106. And if you skip this weird equipment and climb the stairs to the observation booth, go to storyboard 99. Heck yeah, I'm going to go in the telekinesis booth. 106. Oh, look at that. You enter the energizing chamber and shut the door. You press the green button on the interior wall, and the room goes dark while the large glass tube emits a blinding white light, forcing you to cover your eyes with your hands. You can feel the machine rewiring your neural pathways to activate mysterious, previously untapped portions of your brain. The pain is horrible. Part of you thinks that if you can just endure the pain a little longer, unlimited mental powers might be unlocked. Another part of you is concerned that your head might literally explode. I'm really afraid to turn this over. Oh, okay. If you are psychic level 4... I'm not. On the psychic scale, draw clue 93. If you stay in the energizing chamber, work through the pain, draw clue 98. If you take it and get out of the chair... If you can't take it and get out of the chair, go to clue 103. I'm gonna think about this premonition I had. Brain on fire? I think that had to do with the psychic room. Oh, I'm really torn right now. Let's try to take it. What's the worst that could happen, right? I die. Come on. Should have put the tablecloth down, Zach. Would have been easier to pick stuff up. What did I say? 98? Clue 98. Telekinesis. You now have the power to move things with your mind. You think about this as you run for the observation booth. Once per challenge, you can raise the danger meter by 2 to re-roll a die roll. Keep this item. Move forward 1 space on the psychic scale. Alright. Good choice, Zach. Alright, so instead of... I guess if, instead of, raising it by 4 or something, I can choose to do that, I guess. Sure. Neat. Alright, and what did it say to do? Story card 99. Oh, so I guess I can't do the other booth. Chapter 499. The observation booth has thick windows that look down into a circular chamber where you see a human-sized chimp in a hospital gown sitting at the table. The poor animal's head is shaved and hugely swollen. Electrodes are attached to pulsing veins. The chimp is gazing intently at a small wooden boat, which is floating in midair above the table. The chimpanzee sees you, and the moment his eyes meet yours, you start to black out. You break eye contact just before losing consciousness, and decide you'd better exit this room quickly. Next to a fire extinguisher on the wall is a map, which gives you a quick overview of the area. You orient yourself to see the observation booth is next to the cryogenics lab and the supercomputer room. If you go to the cryogenics lab, go to story card 93. If you go to the supercomputer room, go to story card 109. Let's go to the supercomputer. 109. 109. As soon as you enter the room, the computer lights up. Present your credentials, a digital voice demands. It must be the computer. You mutter something about being the new lab assistant. I judge that to be false. You have come here seeking answers. My memory bank contains all the information you desire, but access is forbidden. You don't see a keyboard, so apparently voice commands are the only way to interact with this thing. Unless, of course, you can best me in a competition of my choosing, the computer continues. Be wary, human. No flesh creature has ever defeated me in my limitless mind. Free action. If you agree to compete with a supercomputer, draw clue 97. Yes. Yes, I do. Clue 97. A compartment opens the computer's casing, and a robotic arm extends from inside it. The supercomputer wants to arm wrestle you. Required challenge. Arm wrestle the supercomputer. Okay. Well, let's get our trusty large wooden dowel, although I don't know how thematically that's going to help, but it does give me +2 to strength. And I do have to roll 3 or higher, because my danger meter's still at 3. Please don't break my dowel. I really like this thing. Awesome! Well, I beat the computer. At an arm wrestling match. Clue 102. Alright. Quantum synthesis stabilizer. You defeat the supercomputer and gain access to its files. One is a diagram of a rod-shaped device called a quantum synthesis stabilizer. If you have clue 39, keep the item and move forward 2 spaces on the psychic scale. Do I have clue 39? I do not. This is why I should have gone back. If you do not have clue 39, discard this card. Oh, well, that womps. Okay. Finish story card 109. Well, at least I beat a computer at an arm wrestling match. Alright. There are 2 doors leading out of the supercomputer room. You start to open one door, and the computer shouts, "Do not attempt to enter the armory!" You start to open the other door, and the computer shouts, "Do not attempt to enter the observatory!" This computer may be pushy, but it is quite informative. If you take the observatory door, go to 108. If you go to the armory door, go to 94. Let's go to the armory. 94. Although it did say do not attempt. Ooh, there is a gun there. Alright. You enter the armory, the door closes behind you, and then you hear it lock automatically. The room is nearly empty, and you realize with a shudder that whatever weapons are usually kept here are probably in the hands of people, or chimps, roaming the halls outside. The only thing left is a massive artillery gun mounted on a swivel in the center of the room. There are also a bunch of lockers lining one wall, if you'd like to search through them. Optional challenge, search the lockers. If you have a level 3 or higher on the psychic scale, add +1 to your die roll, in addition to the challenge booster. Cool, so I get +1, because I am level 3. And I need to get a 3, so I need a 2 or higher. That is another 3, so we did it. Draw clue 92. Hyper hypersonic isotropic resonator. Whew. You find a tech catalog with details on an object called the hypersonic isotropic resonator. If you have clue 87, keep this item and move forward 2 spaces on the psychic scale. I do have clue 87. Awesome. I'm glad I stole this thing. So the crystalline cap. So I get to move 2 spaces up on the psychic scale, which puts me to level 4. And now I just finished the story. Okay. Let's see here. There's a door here, and you can see through its window that it leads into a stairwell. Unfortunately, this door is locked. The artillery gun you found has a shell in it. Though you could probably blast your way through, as a matter of fact, why limit yourself? With that thing, you could probably get through the wall, opposite the door, instead. Opposite the door. Instant shortcut. If you blow a hole through the door to the stairwell, go to story card 108. If you blow a hole through the wall, go to story card 97. Alright, well, I guess we're going to do a Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah. 97. This is probably the wrong choice. You carefully navigate stray chunks of masonry and find yourself in a laboratory. There's a closet-sized metal box here, big enough for you to get into, connected to a computer terminal. Some notes you find... This was 97, right? Yeah. Some notes you find scattered on the desktop contain terms like DNA decoding unit and cellular replicator. You know what the thing is for. Clones. It makes clones. You're sure of it. Well, 90% sure. There's a flashing red light on the terminal that might mean something's not working properly. But the computer is so old it uses punch cards. You just know that trying to figure out what's wrong with this computer would be a huge pain. There's a time clock on the wall above the column of the time cards, with a handwritten index card that says Observatory Employees. Next to it is a stairway leading upwards. Free action. If you are at level 4 or higher on the psychic scale, you can search the computer to determine the meaning of the blinking red light. To do so, raise danger meter by 1 and draw clue 99. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because my danger meter is nice and low. I am level 4, so we're gonna draw clue 99. It's not 99. A message flashes on the screen. Warning! Moral alignment circuits are malfunctioning. All clones produced ever under these conditions are evil. Fantastic. I could have told you that. Alright, finish story chord 97. If you try to clone yourself, go to story card 116. If you take the stairs to the observatory, go to story card 108. I am not going to try to clone myself because now I know my clones are evil. So we will go to the observatory, story card 108. Oh, that's not it, and that's a spoiler. Alright. 108. You go up a long flight of stairs that leads to an observatory where you find Professor Marsden staring at the stars. How did you get here first? You ask. It's all my fault, he murmurs sadly, lost in thought. We reached out to the stars and they reached back. But when the creature made contact, we got greedy and captured him for further study. I fear your nightmares mean he's sending out telepathic messages in hopes of being rescued. If you want them to end, you must set the creature free. That is why, the professor continues, we need to take back the compound from Carol. Disable the neuron inhibitor mainframe controlling the chimpanzees and free the alien ambassador. Carol watches over the mainframe constantly, he continues, so you'll be heading into great danger. Make sure you're fully prepared before you move on. Oh. Okay. There's a hallway to the mess hall and a back door that leads outside the house. Story return. If you'd like to go back for anything you missed, make a choice below. So if I head to the temporal manipulation lab, I can raise the danger meter by 3 and go to story card 96. If I go to the psychic development room, which I've already been to, if you head to the armory, I can raise the danger meter by 3. I've been to the armory, and I've been to the observation booth. So really, I can only go to the temporal. Raise this danger meter by 3 and go to story card 96. Let's do that. Okay. A massive machine with a glowing control panel is before you. The moment you step inside the door slams shut behind you, and the machine begins to hum. Professor Marsden said this area was dangerous, but you feel like he should have warned you about all the self-closing doors around here. The glow of the control panel is getting brighter, and the hum is almost deafening now. You look for an off button, but only find a big dial with 3 settings: past, present, and future. Past, present, and future? This is a time machine! If you don't pick a setting, and fast, something seriously bad might happen. Don't have any psychic premonitions that help me with this. If you set the machine for the past, go to story card 104. If you leave the machine set on the present, go to story card 95. And if you set the machine to the future, let's look to the future. 112. Why not? Your surroundings fade out, and you feel the odd sensation of unstable time-warping energy bombarding every cell of your body. Soon the laboratory walls fade back into view, or parts of them do. At least the entire underground complex is now more or less a big pit, and you see a dark, smoke-filled sky through the remains of the charred ceiling above you. A massive vehicle floats above the distant horizon, scanning the barren landscape with searchlights. The time machine is still here. At least it looks ancient and broken, but it's glowing, so it might be functional enough for one more time jump. There's a whole bunch of junk piled around it, which you can rummage through if you'd like. Search through the... If you're level 3 or higher, I get to add +1. I am. Okay, cool. Alright. Oh, I need a 3 or higher. I have nothing to increase psychic. Whew! Alright. Alright, so I got a 4, which matches my challenge meter right now, so I'm good, because that is +1. Fantastic. That's 3 3s in a row. 96. Or 3 3s in one match. That's pretty impressive. Not impressive. Coincidental. 96. Valence conduction capacitor. You find a page of notes detailing a small whirring sphere called a valence conduction capacitor. If you have clue 21, keep the item and move forward 2 spaces on the psychic scale. If you do not have clue 21, discard this card. I do have clue 21. It is my whirring metal sphere. Awesome. So I get to move forward 2 spaces on the psychic scale. Fantastic. If you walk toward the horizon to see what this future is all about, go to story card 110. If you want to know part of this future and to use the time machine to get home, go to story card 92. That is a difficult choice. Let's look forward. 110. Alright. Fortunately, the stairs in this place are still sturdy, even after all these centuries. Soon you're back on the surface, striding toward the horizon. Things are pretty rough shape out here. The woods that once surrounded the Marsden residence have long since burned to the ground, and nothing new has grown to replace it. In the distance, you see only hints of anything made by people. Just as you're getting ready to call it quits and head back to the time machine, a flying alien craft spots you, and you're engulfed in red light emitted from an open hatch. You think, is this a tractor beam to levitate me into the ship so they can learn more about humans and our wonderful civilization? Nope. Disintegration ray. You're vaporized before you can even be disappointed. Move back 2 spaces on the psychic scale and return to story card 112. Well, that was dumb. So much for gaining psychic ability. 1, 2. So I guess we will go to story card 92 and go home. You're surprised to hear the professor's voice in your earpiece.
I've accessed the time machine remotely, he says. Hold on tight, I'm bringing you home.
Wait, hold on tight to what? Your surrounding fades out again, and before you know it, you're back to the temporal manipulation lab. The machine appears to be on its last legs. A disturbing amount of black smoke is wafting from the time machine, and you decide to get moving before the whole thing bursts into flames. Fortunately, 2 wall panels are now open, leading to new hallways. Okay, Professor, which way from here? You ask.
To the left is the experimental supercomputer, and the armory's on the right, he says. But it's not safe to...
Whatever technology is transmitting his voice shorts out. The experimental supercomputer is on a green desk with a curious, oversized orange frog paperweight. It looks like it's made of metal, and must be quite heavy. The eyes of the orange frog are yellow, and you feel yourself being drawn to them. If you check out the supercomputer next to the orange frog paperweight, go to story card 109. Yeah, let's go there, because I've already done that. I've already done both, actually. Yes, so we've done 109. The computer yells at me again. What was it I get? If I do the challenge, which I did. 102, and then I need clue 39, which I do not have. So that's not going to be helpful to do that challenge again. So I can't do the challenge again because I still don't have clue 39. Go to the armory door again. I guess I could go down the stairs this time. But I already used the shell, so that doesn't quite compute to me, but... I guess I can do that. So if I go back to the armory, there's still the gun. If I blow a hole through the wall, which I already did, but this time I can blow a hole through the door and go to story card 108. So that's something new. Except these story cards, for some reason, are not in the correct order. Did I already go to 108? That's 109, that's 108. Oh. So the stairwell brings me back to this. Which I've already been to. Okay. Oh, to move on. Okay. Alright, I don't have to keep going in circles. Read the whole thing, Zach. Alright, if you try the mess hall, so I can go to the mess hall and go to story card 119. If I leave the house through the back door, go to story card 101. Let's go to the mess hall. 119. Woo! Figuring it out. It's like a game based on a book would require reading comprehension skills, Zach. The mess hall is filled with a long metal table and ugly plastic chairs, judging by the sheer volume of rotting banana peels piled into the overflowing trash cans. You'd guess that it's mostly used by chimpanzees. Chimpanzees who don't compost. The room has high ceilings, and you can see an area on the next level with a railed balcony that overlooks the room. There might be something interesting up there, but you'll have to climb to find out. There's also a door that leads to the pantry, in which you see a cupboard. Optional challenge. If I win, I lower the danger meter by 3 and I go to story card 111. If I lose, I raise the danger meter by 1 and try again. Or I can open up the pantry. Well, that rotting banana doesn't look that great, so let's try to climb something. Do I still have my sandwich, or did I use that? I did use my sandwich. But I do have the ability... Oh, the danger meter is not going up that much. Alright. And I have nothing to help climbing, so we're just doing a straight up, gotta beat a 4. Alright, cool. That is a 5. Awesome. So I win, I lower the danger meter by 3, and I go to story card 111. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's see what's up here. From here, you can see into a meeting room, which is packed with the gills with super chimps. A woman in a lab coat, it must be the diabolical Carol, is operating a large console that must be part of the neuron inhibitor mainframe. It looks pretty solid, but if you're lucky, you might be able to reach it and damage it enough to free the chimps from Carol's control, before anyone can stop you. It's also a metal staircase leading down to an aircraft hangar. You see a truck parked in it, but you can't be sure if anyone is guarding it. Oh, she looks diabolical. If you rush into the meeting room, go to story card 103. If you sneak into the aircraft hangar, go to story card 98. I feel like if I rush in there, I'm going to get killed by chimps. So we're going to go to 98. Probably going to get killed by a chimp. Neat. You sneak into the hangar and discover, to your great relief, that it is unoccupied. There are parts here from what might be some kind of alien aircraft, and tools lie scattered around them on the floor. From here, you can see a large egg-shaped object on the lawn outside the hangar. Scan the tools for something useful. If you're level 4 on the psychic scale, which I still am, I get +1. Cool. And I need a 3, so I need a 2 at least. That's a 3 again. Alright. If I win, I draw clue 89. An unmarked delivery truck is parked here. If only the keys were inside. Alright, clue 89. Oh, it's the top one. A tear gas gun. Awesome. Now I can be Darkwing Duck. You find a small gun that fires tear gas. Neato. Keep this item. Finish story card 98. I get +2 to fighting, which is slightly better than my knife. If you have clue 3, discard it and go to story card 100. If you do not have clue 3, take a look at the egg ship by going to story card 114. I don't think I have clue 3. I definitely do not. So I'm going to story card 114. You sneak over to the big round object. This thing is a spaceship. It has a cold ceramic skin, and it's perfectly smooth. You can't find a single bolt or seam. From here, you can see a window to the main house, where a whole bunch of chimpanzees are gathered around a boardroom table, with a woman at the front of the room, at a computer console. It's Carol. First things first, you climb aboard the egg craft, look at the instruments, and get the psychic sensation that you already possess the knowledge to operate the vehicle. There's a metal lock protecting the control panel, though. If you could bust it, you might be able to get this thing moving. Optional challenge, break the lock. Alright, so I need to do strength. I have my trusty wooden dowel. +2 to strength. No ones, no ones, no ones, no whammies. Stop. That's a 3 again. These dice are loaded. Alright, if I win, I draw clue 101, which is somewhere down here. Through brute force, you manage to break the lock, but you damage the ship's controls in the process. You're tossed from the cockpit as the vehicle lurches a few inches into the air and rockets across the lawn, straight towards the room full of chimpanzees. Draw story card. Go to story card 107. Oh, shoot. I don't remember. I think I was 18. There's a large sliding glass door that opens into the meeting room. Wait, was it 107? Yeah. There's a large sliding glass door that opens into the meeting room, but the egg-shaped ship misses it entirely and crashes straight through the wall. A space cannon emerges from a hatch on the ship's hull and starts firing laser beams at random into the room. The chimps go bananas. It's total chaos. You couldn't have created a better distraction if you'd planned it. You jump out of the ship if you move quickly and stealthily, and somehow manage to avoid the rampaging ships and the uncontrolled laser fire. Maybe you can disable the neuron inhibitor mainframe before anyone stops you. Required challenge. Disable the mainframe. If I win, I go to story card 113. If I lose, I raise the danger meter by 3 and try again. But I do have my psychic telekinesis thing that lets me not do that. It raises it by 2. So I need dexterity. I need to roll a 3 or higher. I have nothing that adds to dexterity. I don't even know if I've done a dexterity challenge yet. Let's see. That's a 4, so I did it. And I win, I go to story card 113. The computer doesn't have a button that's clearly labeled off, so you hit the neuron inhibitor console as hard as you can with a chair, and sparks fly from it. Every chimpanzee in the room instantly passes out and falls to the floor. The egg ship has apparently run out of laser juice, because the cannon sputters and lowers back into its hatch. Carol, however, is still a problem. "My computer!" she screams. "My chimpanzees! My meeting room wall! Who even are you?" She flies at you at a rage. She definitely wants to kill you, and she seems to be giving it everything she's got. Required challenge. Knock out the dastardly Carol. If I win, I go to story card 105. If I lose, I raise the danger meter by 3 and try again. Alright. Well, I am going to use a tear gas gun to give me +2. And I will attack Carol. That's a 6. +2 is an 8. Carol is knocked out. Alright, 105. And that's it. Chapter 4 goal achieved. I disabled the neuron inhibitor, and I knocked out Carol, which was a bonus. You've thwarted Carol's evil plot, freed a whole mansion full of super-intelligent chimpanzees, and broken up a counterfeiting ring. On top of that, you've helped Professor Marsden win back control of his lab. Now, he'll have plenty of time to consider the implications of his blind pursuit of knowledge, and devote the rest of his career to making things right again. All that's left to do now is bask in your supreme triumph. You sit in Carol's chair, lean back, and put your feet up on what remains of the meeting room table, confident that your job here is done. Or is it? Go to story card 120. Okay. An alarm sounds, and about 50 lights on the neuron inhibitor mainframe console start blinking. Professor Marsden comes running into the room. "Oh no," he mutters under his breath. "That thing's probably just malfunctioning, you say. I really did a number on it." You both jolt back as a strange booming voice comes from a speaker on the neuron inhibitor mainframe console. "The full force of the Chrysalic Armada is upon you," it says. "We demand the release of our ambassador. Although we hate violence, we will reduce your entire planet to galactic rubble if you do not obey us." The significance of this moment hits you. You've just heard the words of an actual alien life form. The professor is as pale as a ghost. Let's release the alien, you say. That's what we were planning to do anyway, right?
About that, he says. It may not be quite so simple.
Advance to Chapter 5. Keep all inventory items. Okay. Well, we are going to stop here. We've finished Chapter 4 and then some, it seems. And, hey, aliens! That's what's in this game. Interesting. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video and this playthrough, and we are going to see you next week with the Chapter 5, which I assume will be the conclusion. If you liked the video, please hit like, hit subscribe, comment below. Let us know what other solo Let's Plays you'd like to see. But for now, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.